and welcome to Unleashed. I'm sitting here with my buddy Lev Parnas. No two people know this shit like the two of us, unfortunately. At the moment, Malcolm is in Cairo, and he is unavailable within which to join us. So you have just the two of us today. I mean, I'm certain Malcolm could probably do it from some Humvee in the middle of the desert over there, but no, it's just Lev and I today. Lev, did you just see, for example, that the court um, refused to allow Trump's Justice Department to allow the targeting, believe it or not, of journalists? This is where we're at right now. That
No,
they cannot, that ICE and officers cannot target journalists in Chicago and in Oregon. I mean, it literally just happened moments ago.
oh wow, no, that's some breaking news. I mean, but listen, I mean, look, yeah, it's hard to take some of this stuff with excitement, Michael. I'm sorry to say, because just like I remember a couple of days ago when the judge came out, Trump's appointed judge in Portland, and said, "No, this is looks like you're trying to do martial law. This is a part of and I'm not going to allow you to send in the National Guard." And literally, I wrote the story about it, and literally within an hour later, there was breaking news. Trump went and nationalized federalized the National Guard in in Los Angeles, and then you had breaking news. An hour later, the judge said, "No, you can't go around me." And then I get a phone call from one of my sources saying Trump said, "Fuck that, we're still going in." And now I mean, it's like, I mean, it's yes. The great part about it is that at least we're seeing that everybody's standing up to him, and that's a great thing. That
Well,
even
are they really standing up? You know, the fact that the court, I want people to understand again, because there are no two people who really sort of understand this game better than you and I. Is it really standing up to say that ICE um and the military cannot target journalists? I mean, the fact that that case is even before the court within which to block, as you may have seen in the cabinet meeting where Christine Nome turned around and said that, we will not allow these anarchists to continue, yada, yada, yada. And all of a sudden, it's like now they have to go to court to block the assault on journalists that are there covering, so that the rest of us can see what's legitimately going on. So that when we turn around and tell you that there are no buildings on fire, that Portland is not a war zone, that Chicago is not a war zone, that there aren't riots in the streets. Well, yeah, you have ABC, NBC, CBS. You have, of course, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, Newsmax, News Nation, and everybody else in between, including the AP, Reuters, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal. They're all there. Why? Because every day the chaos needs to be covered. Well, if hypothetically you start attacking the journalists, and they say, "I'm not putting my life on the line for a story," well, what ends up happening? Well, you don't get the truth. Well, at least now we have a court that said you can't go after journalists. In fact, here's something that's really interesting too. You ever notice, like, during these times of wars, you see journalists like from CNN and so on, or Fox, or they're in the middle of the war zone, but they're wearing across their chest a flap jacket that says news onto it. Why? Yeah, I'm not going to say, Karen, that the journalists haven't failed us. I believe much of media has been failing us, but they're there and they're taking video and they're showing it to us so we know the truth. I don't see it as a win. It's almost like
But Mike, it's crazy. While you think about, just think about that. You're talking about journals. We had um man of clergy standing yesterday praying in
yeah,
front of that, praying, standing there praying something that they preach Christianity, they preach
Sure.
prayer. They, they're the ones talking about. You had a man of clergy praying, and they shot him in the head with a pellet, with a pellet in
A
front of the
rubber
whole world,
bullet. Yeah.
and in front of the whole world to watch. No accountability. No accountability. The judges do it. No accountability. That's the problem that we're having, and that's why one of the reasons why we're trying to build these platforms. That's why we're trying to build this movement, the resistance, and unify all these people or these different social media influencers together with us to be able to spread the message, because that's the only way we're going to do it. Otherwise, all of this stuff is just a headline. A headline in the news that will pass by, and tomorrow there'll be another headline and another headline. In the meantime, let's understand what is transpiring, folks. How we got here. If you recall, it all started in Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, there were no riots. There were no. I mean, for those of us that are old enough to remember, like the Rodney King riots and riots in Los Angeles, those were riots. Those were riots. That's when the National Guard was sent in to be able to save a community, to save people from burning their own, basically, city apart. But we were talking about 50, 20, 30 people that are protesting something that the government is trying to take away. So what did he do? He sent in the National Guard. By sending in the National Guard, that caused more rioting, that caused more scenes, that enticed, he played it out. From there, after Governor Newsom went to bat, they kept fighting. Finally, they got kicked out of Los Angeles. So where does he go? Then he goes into Washington, D.C. Why Washington, D.C.? Because he has unlimited authority there. Nobody could say the mayor can't stop him. There is no governor. Washington, D.C. is a different place. He goes in there. He doesn't send the National Guard. He doesn't go in there and sit down and say, let's bring in more police. Let's put more police on the street, whatever. No, let's send in the National Guard to go and walk around the park to pick up garbage. Then from there, he goes on, and then he goes on to Portland. Why Portland? But people didn't understand why all of a sudden Portland. Folks, he saw a video from a BLM riot, BLM, not riot, but protest that was turned into, I guess, a riot or something. There was a lot of fire burning going on. He saw an old video, and because of that, he got enraged with going into Portland. And when he found out that there is no riots going on in Portland, when there's maybe 7, 10, 20 people standing across street from ICE, and ranting and chanting in the evening with no criminality whatsoever, no violence happening whatsoever, what do? They send in their people.
Hmm.
People like Nick Sorter, people like others that went in there, that started antagonizing the people that were there. What happens when you start antagonizing? Obviously, you have fights break up. And that's the stuff they were saying. And yesterday, this is the crazy. Did you see this, Michael? Yesterday, he had a roundtable for what they consider is the new independent media, folks. If you take a look who was sitting around that gentleman, NGO, I can't pronounce his name properly. You had Nick Sorter, you had the who's who of MAGA right wing social media, Twitter, X influencers on there sitting around the table with Trump talking about how there's riots,
But
Antifa.
I mean, literally, you have the head of Homeland Security turning around and saying that the mayor, the governor, for example, in Chicago, are lying, that all of the administration in that state are lying, that Chicago is under siege. They said the same thing with Portland, that Antifa needs to be stopped. That thank you, Mr. President, for your leadership, for your bold action in declaring Antifa a terrorist organization.
She
My,
even
my,
said they got the girlfriend. They said they got the girlfriend.
yeah.
Holy.
So, my friends, first and foremost, please keep hitting the heart. There's just not enough people in this chat with us. and I don't get it. You can't find a more important moment in time to be with Lev and I. So hit that little square with the up arrow and share this. All right. Let's build our community. Why? Okay. First of all, Antifa doesn't exist. It is an idea. It is not an organization like the KKK. It's not an organization like the NRA, where there's the headquarters, there's a president, a vice president, a secretary, a treasurer. You can actually donate. You get a card that makes you into a card carrying Klansman or a member of the NRA. Antifa is a concept. There is no headquarters. All right. It's just short for anti fascism. You know, these lies, like the ones when I first started out talking about the breaking news, the federal judge, I'm reading this from Courthouse News, federal judge blocked U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents who were repeatedly violating reporters and activists' First and Fourth Amendment rights. Group of journalists, religious leaders, and community activists, they filed this class action against ICE, among other federal agencies, all right, which took place on Monday. Case got heard today, where they used a pattern. This is ICE, all right? They used a pattern of extreme brutality in an effort to silence the press and civilians, particularly when they are protesting at immigration facilities in open sight. Lev turned around, and again, we want you to understand that we don't want you to take our word for it. We want you to do just a small amount of your own homework. There's a priest who is standing there and yelling in the name of Jesus to stop this. Stop this nonsense. Stop it right now. Everybody, all of these far-right MAGA Christian claiming white nationalists, they all say the same thing. They're doing this in Jesus' name. Well, a member of the cloth of your religion turns around and says, Jesus wouldn't do it this way. I assure you, the Bible doesn't say, the New Testament doesn't say this. And so what do? They have to go to court to get an injunction preventing ICE agents and federal law enforcement that's now there from violating journalists and civilians' First and Fourth Amendment constitutional rights. Imagine, Lev, if hypothetically that injunction wasn't granted. Imagine any single person who stands on a street with a sign, because they've claimed that all those signs are being made and paid for by somebody else. So just imagine if you're walking down Fifth Avenue, you're walking down Collins Avenue, all right, you're walking down Atlantic Avenue, joining a protest. They now make the determination that you, Lev, are Antifa. Yep. Antifa is now an executive order, a terrorist organization. Therefore, ipso de facto is the way we call it in law. Lev is a terrorist.
And they're going even a step further, Michael, which is really scary. And this is, and I've been watching him, and I remember this is going. When we say follow the money, they're attacking the money. They're going after. I'm hearing organizations like Act Blue really hard. You know, I know we hear the names of George Soros as the big names that they're talking, but there's so much other big names that they are going after right now, trying to tie in, because they're trying to paint a picture. They're trying to rewrite history. They're trying to say there was no insurrection. This was all done by Antifa, by George Soros, by the deep state, by the Obamas, the Clintons, and the organized deep state. This is what's taking place right now on all aspects of the of what's happening, and that's why me and Michael talk about all the time how important it is, that we let our voices be heard. So October 18th is going to be a very important day. It's a day where we're going to have No Kings 2.0. Me and Michael are working with Malcolm and others to put together collectively a joint force to pick a place where we're going to go to be able to, and we're going to let you know where we're at so you could join us, because we want to come out in droves and make sure that as many people come out there and as many voices be heard, and as with our flags, because we need to take back our patriotism, our flags, because that doesn't mean that that's MAGA. Yes, and Malcolm is going to be with us. And so I want to make sure that you all know that that is a day, and we're going to let you know what's
I
coming.
mean, we're basically looking at 4 locations, right? It's DC, New York, Philadelphia, or Florida. It's one of those 4 to start. All right. And so, which one we're not 100% sure yet. There's there's so many there's so many considerations that we each have to, run through. But nevertheless, wherever we go, rest assured, we will be telling you, and we're going to ask you to join us. Be there. If you live in, for example, the tri-state area, right? New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, make your way there. Join us. If you're in Philadelphia, the same thing, right? If you're in the area, and someplace close, DC, Virginia, whatever it is, take the ride. Be a part of the community. If you're in Florida, whether it's going to take place in Miami, Palm Beach, right? If you are able to anywhere in Florida to get there, by all means, boom. All right. Join us. Or DC. If you're in Virginia, if you're in Maryland, doesn't matter. Join us, because we intend to bring down the house. Something that, look, I don't understand why they have not already reached out to any of the 3 of us, Lev, Malcolm, or myself, in order to go there and to speak. In all fairness, who are you going to have speaking there? Who's going to speak there that can actually give you more facts, more information? Yes, Cheyenne, it'll be streamed. More facts, more information, more reality on what's actually going on than Lev, Malcolm, or myself? And the answer is no one. All right. Unless you want to watch television, you could watch the news and you're going to get the same sort of shit that you're going to be hearing from the stage. No fake outrage. No faux cosplay, right? This is facts. And there's no 2 people that actually have the inside track better than Lev and I. So, and by the way, this is just the first. As more of these go on, we're going to start going around the country and doing it. And I actually am hoping that there are protesters that are there, because I want to speak to them. I have no issue with them yelling at me, "Fuck you, you're a rat, you're a turncoat," and so on. Okay, let's get past what I am. Let's get past what you think about me. When was the last time you went grocery food shopping? Why don't you just tell me whether or not, like my grocery bill, it's up 25%? Why don't you just do that? Just tell me how much yours has gone up. Just simple. Ask them the questions that they don't want to answer. How do you think that farmers are going to be doing? Because according to Trump at the round table with the Secretary of Agriculture, I forget what her name is again. The Secretary of Agriculture turning around and saying that we're entering the golden age for farmers. Well, kind of interesting, because I was watching television last night and they brought up a farmer, 3rd generation. Great grandpa started the farm back something like in 1810, something like that. And he goes, "I'm going to lose the farm." He goes, "And all I want to do is work it. All I want to do is just make a decent living so that I could put money away to pay for the seed and the fertilizer and some help for the next season. And he goes, it's not like I sit on the porch and watch as everybody else is working. He goes, I'm out there from 5 o'clock in the morning. Doubled is right, Maggie. It's doubled. Everything is out of control.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. There's that expression, numbers don't lie, people do. Look at the numbers. That's right, Brooke Rollins. Thank you. What do you
Yeah,
say to
no,
that, Lev?
no, 100%. And I mean, and it's not just the economy. I mean, just take a look at what is happening in our streets. I mean, a lot of these people that are getting attacked are also people that voted for Trump. A lot of these people that are being deported, getting picked up off the streets, are a lot of these people that voted for Trump that you don't see the media talk about or attention bring upon this. There's a lot going on right now that is, again, like, we talk about every day is like Groundhog's Day. Every day it's like that we wake up and it's like, what other crazy thing today? I mean, we're talking about right now what's happening here. Though I do want to say one good thing, and I do want to mention it today because no matter how you look at it, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, no matter if you're for pro-Israel or pro-Palestine, today, right now is a good day. Today is so far, I mean, if it stands, giving him the benefit of the doubt, from what I'm hearing from all over the place, that the hostages are coming home. And that is a tremendous thing, to be able to get the hostages home. It'll be a tremendous thing to stop the war. At what cost? Obviously, this is the problem. At what cost? That's a different story. That's something that I guess historians and people will, look into, investigate, and write about. But today is a good day to be able to know that these families are going to be reunited, because after 2 years, after 700 days, after all that suffering, to be able to reunite the families and to stop the killing for all the Palestinians that are now all over, and having now to be able to get aid into these places and to eradicate Hamas. I think we should at least take one little victory news for as a whole country, as a whole world, and unite in that, in celebrating a little piece of good news.
Yeah. Yeah. Meanwhile, there's,
I like the sound effects, man. Look at you go.
by the way, when I went to sleep last night and I saw that this was happening, I was saying, oh, good. I'm going to be able to wake up, because today is a very special day. Today's actually my 31st wedding anniversary. Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And I woke up and I said to myself, how great is it that these hostages are coming back? I believe that there are 20 that are still living. Unfortunately, 28, they'll just be returning the bodies. But at least, I know it sucks, but at least the family will have some form of closure. I mean, imagine these bodies. Where the hell are they even storing them? You're talking about some of them have been deceased for almost 2 years. It's just freaking horrible. Putting all that aside, I'm with you, Lev, on that. This is a great day, not just for Israel, but for the Palestinian people as well, for the Gazans, because now 400 trucks are going to come in, that the food deprivation is going to come to an end. They could, God willing, start to rebuild Gaza, which brings me to a second point here. So one of the journalists asked Trump the question in that ridiculous self-aggrandizing cabinet meeting where everybody was thanking, as they all do, thank you, Mr. President, for your leadership, for your strong positions, for your no-nonsense take on everything. Like, the only question is, will you please stop eating Mexican food before we have to kiss your ass? All right, because I get nauseous from Mexican food, right? I mean, that's literally what's going on there. I've never seen this is a cabinet meeting which could only be compared to that of a Kim Jong-un or a Vladimir Putin, right?
Yeah.
Where you start off every statement thanking the fearless leader, the supreme leader, the dictator, the monarch, the ruler for being yourself.
The best is Pam Bondi, how she is on behalf of you, the lawyers. I have all our lawyers in the DOJ on behalf of you, sir, in Portland and Chicago, fighting on behalf of you. Are you fucking kidding me? Like
We're
on behalf.
not going to listen to anybody. We're going to go in and buy buildings. Now they're buying
Oh,
buildings.
yeah.
Meanwhile, the crazy thing, you got a government shutdown. You have people who aren't going to get paid. You have people who are right now really nervous. 90% of the country live paycheck to paycheck. Now, I'm not talking about the uber billionaires that are basically surrounded, in Trump's cabinet meeting. I'm talking about legitimately the American people. They live paycheck to paycheck. So how do you pay your rent? How do you pay your mortgage? Oh, but you still have to show up. You still have to show up to work, even though there's none of this furloughed sick leave that they're allowing to go. All of that is suspended, for example, because we don't want to inconvenience the American people at the airports. And I understand that. Don't get me wrong. I understand that. It's not right. We shouldn't have to. But by allowing that to happen, by allowing people, and I'm not talking about Democrats, I'm not talking about Republicans, I'm not talking about independents, I'm talking about all Americans to be inconvenienced and really inconvenienced, like you are when you go to the grocery store and you got to put shit back because you don't have the money for it, or you have to decide I can only buy half my medication and I'm going to have to water it down. None of this shit is for real. All right, we need to force it to stop, plain and simple.
Yeah, and somebody said there that it's a great thing, but he doesn't deserve the Nobel Peace Prize. Oh, absolutely. By as great as what we're hearing today and the hostages being home, that doesn't mean that he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. And that's another thing. I mean, if a lot of everything that's being done and played out on every scale is for him to try to get this Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, Michael, I lately like I'm watching certain things play out and it's like he's like running around doing a bucket list. Like, from going to the soccer game and standing there with the world championship trophy to going to, trying to get the Nobel Peace Prize to going to the Super Bowl to having the UFC fight just think about the cost of the UFC fight on the wall. I mean, it's
By the way,
insane.
did you hear that they said, Lev, that the cost to redo the grounds alone that are going to be damaged because of their building up the octagon and so on is $10 million? How the fuck is that possible?
I don't know.
And I'll tell you what, how about this? Instead of paying $10 million, because somebody's putting like 9.5 million in their pocket on that one, how about take a bunch of the migrants that you want to deport, right? And how about let them do it?
It's insane. And the other
Fucking
thing,
joke.
I mean, you want to hear a little funny tidbit that I realized yesterday. I didn't even realize it.
Always.
So my lawyer calls me up yesterday and says, "Lev, you can't get away from whatever all everything that keeps going on. Somehow you're connected to this." I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, Comey's arraignment yesterday." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "You know who his judge was?" I said, whatever his name was, didn't think of it. He goes, he sends me an ABC News article. So that was my judge in my first arraignment. And we had the same judge that arraigned me when I first got arrested in Alexandria, Virginia. Back then, he was a district judge. Now he's become a federal judge. It's incredible. It's like how our stories and everything intertwine, and it's just so crazy.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for wishing me a happy 31st. By the way, on my Instagram account, Michael Cohen 2.0, in my story, I actually I did this while my wife was sleeping because, I get up at like 4:30 in the morning and I start writing my Substack. But even before I started writing my Substack, I started going through old photos from the wedding and I started to post them. And then I make little funny comments underneath them. So to those of you that actually want to just take a look, it's under Michael Cohen 2.0. I'm very proud of the work I do on that. and it stays only for 24 hours. But my wife was very touched. I got a big smoochy kiss when she first got out of bed. Yeah, 31 years, hard to believe, right?
It's true.
Meanwhile, Lev, there is so much more that we actually need to. I'll tell you, this app has gotten extremely strange. Is it me, or every time that you're on, after a few minutes, it starts to lag? On top of that, people. I say this because none of this technology makes sense to me. There are some people who know how to fuck with the algorithm, and they manage to start getting more and more subscribers. The difference, though, is that the subscribers that they get, they're not engaged like the way you are. Those who subscribe to me or subscribe to Lev, you're always engaged, but we need to grow. The only way that we're going to see a change, everybody's always asking, like I know they ask you, Lev, all the time. Well, what the hell can we do? And here's the answer. It's plain and simple. Show up. Be a part of the community. Help to grow the community. It is not that difficult to grow a community. A little more difficult on this platform. Again, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like right now, it's lagging. I don't understand.
You know what else? I'm glad you brought this up, Michael, because I keep forgetting. I want to mention this while we have like 1,200 people here. First of all, thank every one of you that subscribe, that are paid subscribers. God bless you, that support, that go out there, go out there, promote it, tell people to, about what we're talking about, spread the message. But what I've been getting DMs, and I've been noticing that, and you should all check, because for some reason, sometimes it unsubscribes you. So a lot of people get unsubscribed. They don't even know it. I get like a DM saying, Lev, I'm a paid subscriber. I've been there, and all of a sudden I can't type in the chat. Like, I'm like, what's wrong? And they check and they go, I'm not a subscriber anymore. So there's, I guess, because of the flow, and because I don't know what the app is, but I recommend each and every one of you just check to make sure you are a subscriber. For those of you that are paid subscribers or founders, make sure you are, that they don't, that nothing change. If something has, contact customer support immediately, and so to have them change it, because I've noticed also because of that, like we'll go on, instead of gaining subscribers, we lose subscribers, and I'd be like, what is going on?
Yeah,
And
how the hell does that happen? Like
well,
all of a sudden, it's like
yeah.
on a day, I see, because it sends you an email that you picked up 100 new subscribers, but then you look at your total subscriber number, and it doesn't move a single person. So does that mean that I gained 100, but I lost 100 people? It
It's
makes absolutely no sense at all, and I'm getting really pissed off, about it, because again, like Lev said, the only way for us to win this battle is at the ballot box, to grow our community. You know, it's very frustrating. And I hope each and every one of you feels that. Oh, by the way, another thing that I want each and every one of you to be noticed, take notice of, fake impersonator accounts.
Oh yeah, big time. That's
Okay.
another thing.
If you see a Michael Cohen 12345 pop up and ask you for money, that's not me. All right. And double check, because you'll see, based upon the number of subscribers, you'll see that there's a validation check, whether it's an orange or a purple or whatever, a deep orange color. That's a validation mark. It's a check mark. The other one has like 3 subscribers. Well, you don't really think that you're one of only 3 subscribers that subscribe to Lev or to myself, right? I mean,
And
you realize that that's not accurate. Don't
and
engage with them. Report them for impersonation, and they will be taken down. But I have had so many people say to me, they said, "Oh, that you're in the process of getting a divorce, right? And that
you're asking for
that your wife
$5,000.
turned around and she froze out all the accounts. So please, can you send me like $100?" And some people have, and I thank you for caring about me that much. But as I said, 31 years. Not true. And you should also note that that person has 4 subscribers.
Well, and the biggest thing I think, without you even noticing, you should know that neither Michael or myself are going to ask you for money. We're not on this platform to ask you for money. We're on this platform to be able to spread our message, to ask you to spread our message. For those of you that contribute and become paid subscribers and support us, that you know how to do it. You're not going to get emails from. I mean, I've gotten also emails saying that I've been asking people for $5,000. I need to move. I need to pay my lawyers. You send me a quick $2,000. That's not going to happen for Michael or me. So just as soon as you see that, please report them. Also report them right away. So this way, because a lot of them are trolls, a lot of them are fake, but a lot of them are GOP mega right wing that are accounts that are starting to infiltrate our Substack communities here, start trolling. So and you're starting to see conversations. You're starting to see people come in and start, going into crazy stuff. And that's part of the what's it called, watching the misinformation. That's why we need to grow our community bigger, stronger, more powerful. Because the bigger, the stronger we are, the more powerful, the stronger our voices are. And that's exactly what will what's it called take to get our democracy back.
And just so people know that when we talk about being a paid subscriber, it offers you some different interaction. On almost like a couple times a week, I do Q&A with my paid subscribers only. I know Lev does the exact same thing. I give you an opportunity to come up. I bring people up all the time so that they get a chance to be introduced to our family, because I consider this community to be like a family. And so, I bring them up and we engage in conversation, no different than Lev engages in a conversation with me or I him. That's the benefit that you get. We always just want to do something a little special for our paid. I'd like to be able to do it for everybody. It's just not possible. When you have X number of thousands of subscribers, it just becomes impossible. So you try to limit the field and you do it for the paid subscribers only, right? My hope is that one day we'll be able to figure out how to do it for everybody. I apologize. Some people turn and say, I can't believe that, you're only doing it for the paid subscribers. I'm sorry. These are people that are supporting the platform, supporting Lev, supporting myself. I know. I can't believe the fucking Yanks lost last night. Thank you very much for ruining this entire episode. I was so sad about that. I know. Yeah.
Uh,
Anyway, that's the whole point. Now, back to the news for a quick second. There's, again, so much going on. There's so much chaos. My hope was that I would wake up to a day where, I can enjoy the entire day with, my wife, enjoy, my conversation with you, with Lev. Wish Malcolm was here, but he's in Cairo. No, no, it's every single day. By the way, did you also notice that when Trump was making his statement about Antifa, about the federalization, about the weaponization, he was basically reading off of this piece of paper? Those aren't Trump's words. Those are the words of Russell Vought. Those are the words of Stephen Miller. And neither of them have our best interests at heart. I want every single one of you to take that into consideration as you help us to grow this platform. They do not have our best interest at heart. What they have, what interests are they trying to promote? Almost looks like authoritarianism to me, right?
It is important. I mean, that's what they're portraying. I mean, just think about what they were talking about sitting there around the table. They had a collective group of individuals, propaganda pushers, sitting around the table talking about how they all have been attacked by this imaginary organization called Antifa, how they've all gotten their heads bashed in and all of this type of stuff, and that how they are happy that what's it called? He's able to, that the president is now going after Antifa and stopping it. And to make matters worse, you had Christy Noem, the HSS head Homeland Security Secretary, sitting there talking about how they have just arrested the girlfriend of the leader of Antifa. Now, let me ask you a question. Who is the leader of Antifa? Since they have the girlfriend, how come they're not releasing the name? Like, why is there not a wanted posted?
You know what? I'm glad you asked that question. By the way, I am going to Google it for each and every one of you
Please,
right now.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Who is the leader of Antifa? Here's the response. Antifa has no official national leadership, though followers have organized themselves into small local cells that sometimes coordinate with movements such as Black Lives Matter. Um, there is no such thing.
you know what?
All right.
You gave me an idea. Let me ask Grok, who is the girlfriend of Antifa? Let's see what Grok says. I'm curious who this girlfriend is, though. Hold on a second. Hey, Grok, Christy Naum said yesterday that they arrested the girlfriend of the leader of Antifa. Who is that, and who is the leader of Antifa? Let's see this.
If I can, let me give you the article from um, NPR.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me read this one. At a White House roundtable, U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said one of the individuals we arrested recently in Portland was the girlfriend of one of the founders of Antifa. However, she did not name who that founder is nor provide verifiable evidence.
Well, Steve further went on to say, and I'm going to quote, and we're hoping as we go after her and prosecute her, we'll get more and more information about the network and how we can root them out and eliminate them from the existence of American society. Now, NPR goes on to say that the comment raised eyebrows as national security analysts and extremism experts have noted that Antifa, which is short for anti-fascist, has no recognized leadership, founding figures, or formal membership. The movement, which emerged in its modern form in the early 2000s and gained visibility during protests in the Trump era, is widely understood to be decentralized, whose loose networks of activists occasionally organize to confront far-right groups. My friends, let me be very clear again about something here. There is no such person. There is no such person. Imagine if you find out that nobody was arrested. I'll go one step further. Lev, write this down as well, because I'm putting this in my notes. In 2 weeks, Trump's famous 2 weeks, we're going to, on Thursday, in 2 weeks from now, we're going to turn around and see whether or not Kristi Noem, whether or not Pam Bondi, whether or not any of these individuals have actually charged somebody, a woman, who is the girlfriend of the founder or one of the founders of Antifa. All right. And every 2 weeks, because I don't want to waste every single week talking about it, but every 2 weeks, we're going to spend a minute just to see. And mark my words, this person will never be brought before. There will never be an indictment. There will never be charges because that person doesn't exist.
Oh, and the crazy part, Michael, explain to me how the media, nobody in the media did a follow-up question, who is this girlfriend? Today, he had another, what's it called, in the Oval, another questions that they were taking. Again, not one question saying, you have this supposed girlfriend of the founder of Antifa. Who is this girlfriend? Who is this person? What makes you, I mean, these are simple questions. We're not reporters, but what is the evidence that makes you believe she is the girlfriend of a founder of Antifa? What I mean, like, those are some serious, serious words and accusations by the Secretary of Homeland of Defense, accusing somebody of being, especially once they just, said that Antifa is a terrorist organization. So, I mean, so you're basically, I mean, I don't know. This, yeah, it's just crazy to hear that, and this is what is really upsetting to me, Michael, more than anything, is that just not so long ago, Biden, anybody, I mean, any leader around the world, forget about it, any leader around the world except for like Putin, except for Xi, except for Kim Jong Un, and maybe the Ayatollahs over there, but they get pressed by the media. And now Trump, he falls into the category where now an American president could go up there, say whatever he wants to say, lie to the people, tell them that prices are down, we're living in a great economy, everything is just honky dory. We have riots in the streets in Portland, we're cleaning up. They're taking over our streets in Chicago, we're cleaning up. Washington, just think about the crazy shit that comes out of his mouth, that he feels safe enough now. He feels safe with 200 Secret Service men around him. Feels safe enough to go have dinner in Washington, D.C. I mean, it's just idiotic. Like, you know what I'm saying to you? Like, I mean, the shit that, I have this little phrase that I like to use with Donald Trump is the shit that comes out of his mouth is jealous of the shit that comes out of his ass. I swear to you.
Yeah.
Or his ass
That's
the other way around. His ass is jealous of the shit that comes out of his mouth. Thank you.
exactly. Meanwhile, let's go on to a different topic here. Talk about insane. How about the fact that MAGA Mike Johnson will not swear in a new member of the House of Representatives who won a special election, Arizona, because he knows that the second that they do, the Epstein file issue is going to come up, and you have 218 votes now. So imagine the Speaker of the House is actually working against the rules. It's his fucking obligation as the Speaker of the House to swear in an individual who wins an election. So he's basically telling everyone in that district in Arizona, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit of your district or the voters. I'm going to do it the way I want. So now I think we're already into the 8th or ninth day that she doesn't have an office, that the people of her district are not represented by government.
Oh, we have some breaking news, Michael. Breaking news, as I've been telling you guys for the past several days, is going to happen this week. Breaking news: Virginia grand jury weighing criminal charges right now against New York Attorney General Letitia James.
By the way, dude, fuck you. I'm 2 for 2. I'm 2 for 2. I was on MSNBC the weekend. I'm going to call them as soon as we get off. I'm 2 fucking for 2.
The grand jury right now is weighing criminal charges, and they are going to come. I could tell you that. And she's not the only one. There's more to follow. This is just the beginning. They're going to flood this system with names you're not even ready for.
Oh my God, it's crazy. John Bolton, you're going to have Miles Taylor, you're going to have Adam Schiff, you're going to have Alvin Bragg, you're going to have, I mean, there's so many names.
Oh, and you're going to have Jack Smith.
Yeah, Jack Smith.
And you're gonna have Christopher Ray, Michael. Mark my words.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I now have to write down the top 20 names. And because I know that the next time I go back on television, they're going to say, holy shit, you're 2 for 2. By the way, you and Malcolm each owe me $1 also, by the way.
Stop with the dollar. You owe me so much if you keep
Dude, you owe me. By the way, you owe me.
Do you owe me. Do you want me to remind you of Mr. Hegseth that you told me was going to be gone? I told you he's not going anywhere.
We didn't have $1 bet, though. But
we had
suffice it to say, no. But this one in front of each and every one of you are loyal. So there's not a chance I'm letting Lev or Malcolm out of that $1 bill. And it's not one that looks like you mugged a homeless guy in the park. I want a clean, fresh dollar bill.
About what, Charlie Kirk?
That's right.
He's still in the news. They're
Yeah,
making a
really?
dollar about it.
By the way, okay, hold on. We have how many people do we have with us right now?
Almost 1,400.
Okay. So to you who are now watching,
Mhm.
do you agree with Michael or with Lev? Put an M or an L, and we're going to see who's right here. I haven't heard anybody talk about Charlie Kirk in over 10 days.
What
Yeah,
10
his name
days?
gets mentioned here and there. Nobody's talked about him. They're talking about Israel.
They they want to put his picture on the dollar on the money. What are
So
you
what?
talking about?
So what? They're
They're
putting
running.
Trump's face on the commemorative coin. I'm not saying he's disappearing from them. I'm
You're
saying I
you're
told
not
you he's not.
you're not hearing in our echo chamber. You're not hearing it here in the echo. That's why I say this is an echo chamber. If you
It's
go on
not
X,
on
if
Fox.
you
They're
go
not
all over
talking
else,
about it on
yeah,
ABC.
let me just
Who's
put it to
right
you
or
this
wrong,
way.
folks?
Let
M
me
or
put
L?
hold on.
M or L?
Let, while they're doing it,
M
while the
or
folks are
L?
doing L
By the
or
way, you
M.
know what L stands for?
Let me remind you what Benny Johnson just did this Saturday at a Penn State game where they had all freedom at Penn State University. All of them were freedom. Let me remind you how they're going to every university in Utah and it's just not being reported by the media,
Not
but
being
it
quoted by
is
anybody.
Erica what's her name? Erica Charlie.
Kirk?
Oh, Kirk.
Erica Kirk?
I'm already like, yeah, Erica Kirk. They have raised more money than in the history of TPS USA, and it's not stopping. The only reason you're not hearing for it about in a little bit. By the way, folks, keep hitting those MRLs. I haven't seen any of them yet. I'm trying to figure it out, but we'll get to it. But anyway, yes, you might not be hearing him in the news right this second because we're obviously.
Don't make me take that dollar bill out of your pocket.
I'm going to get Joe. First of all, it wasn't Malcolm we made the bet with. It was with JoJo. So I want you to get JoJo.
No, it was you and Malcolm.
No, it was me,
You
you,
and
and
Malcolm both
JoJo.
agreed.
It was me, you, and JoJo. Get JoJo out here. She'll fall. I'm telling you, Michael.
Yeah.
Remember one thing. Lev remembers. Oh, I got the wrong shirt on today.
Exactly. So, Lev, let me let you take us out. So much going on here. But by the way, I know that that we could spend hours with each and every one of you talking about all the chaos that's coming out of this administration, out of Washington. Simply, it's because we're being run by a bunch of incompetents. And let me be very clear about something. The only way that we end up holding these folks accountable for any of the stuff that they do is by ensuring that the midterm elections go the right way. So once again, help us to grow the community. Lev, do me a big favor.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, what Michael just said, that's 100%. I mean, n- our next line of defense is coming up and it's coming up very quick. 2026, the midterms is it. And this is what we need to do no matter what to be able to go out there right now and save our democracy. And the only way we're going to be able to save it is by expanding our platforms, making it bigger and bigger, making our voices grow louder and louder. One of these days is going to be October 18th. That's the next day that we're going to gear up to right now. Me, Michael, Malcolm, and others are putting together to go out there and to make this day to let our voices be heard to such a point where it shakes the White House, where it shakes Donald Trump. But the only way we could do it, the only way we're going to be afforded is if you guys subscribe, if you pass the message on. And for those of you, like Michael said, the paid subscribers, the reason why we want to do something special for them because they allow us to be able to continue giving you the free information because not everybody in this economy, not everybody in this world can afford to become a paid subscriber. And we understand that. That's why we don't have any paywalls. That's why we don't come here and try to make money off of stories. We're here to spread the truth because both me and Michael have paid a dear price by going to prison. Our families paid a dear price by our association to this man, to this group, to this cult, to whatever you want to call it. And we're here risking it all today because as you could see, there's nothing stopping him from shutting anybody up, going after anybody he wants, prosecuting sitting literally while we're speaking. There's a grand jury that is going to be coming down with an indictment against the sitting Attorney General of New York, not because she did something.
No, no, no,
Out of the
don't
rule.
say
We don't
that.
know. Well, we don't know. We don't know. We don't know. You're right. We don't know. We don't know what she did. But the fact that the way it's happening, the fact the way it's being done, the fact the way it's promoted, and that way, like I said, there's a lot more to it than just going out and indict. And for those of you, I know a lot of you have been asking me, you love the shirt. I'm going to give you a quick little promo. It is the No King shirt I just had done. You could go levremembers.com, grab your No King shirt there, and
Why
it's
didn't you
another way.
put Lev Remembers on the sleeve or something?
They're different. They have different Love Remembers.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a great shirt.
I just opened up the store to be able to. It's another way to try to be able to support and give something back to
By
you
the way,
guys.
there's a bunch of people turning around and saying to be a founding member is $2,500.
Where?
Is I have no idea what the hell they're talking about. I think to be a founding member in mine is
200.
240. It's $240.
Yeah,
But
200.
I also, to my every founding member, I send you a free signed Substack limited edition book on me, no shipping, handling, postage, no cost on the book, as just a thank you. And those are to the people who can. Don't ask people to do it. If you do, you do. That's great. Happy for each and every one of you to you could purchase the book. Just DM me. I'll tell you how to do it. Right. But if you're a family member, I send it for free as a thank you. I mean, this is not, you know what we do with that money? We end up getting a fucking bus ticket or a train ticket off to go to Philadelphia, or a plane ticket to Florida, or wherever, Washington D.C., wherever we're going to go for these No Kings and stuff like that. End of story.
Anyway, guys, for those of you that support us, for those of you subscribe, those of you paid, God bless you. We love you. Thank you. Continue. Go out there and share the message. For those of you that are new, that just joined or just popped in because you saw it going there, now is the time to subscribe. The information that we will give you, that you will hear from Michael, myself, will be like I promise you, no pundit, no media sources out there. And if you do hear it, it's because they're reporting on what they heard from us. So if you want to hear it from the horse's mouth, subscribe. It's for free. And if you can, go the extra mile and show us the love and give us a little love by becoming the paid subscribers. God bless each and every one of you. And like I said, there's
Get that No
news.
King shirt. I need one of those shirts when we do our.
I love it, right? I just got in today, actually.
I'm getting one. You, me, and Malcolm have to wear it when we go to the No King.
No, we'll get there. I'll have it make him unleashed. No Kings unleashed. I'll make him No Kings Unleashed for what's it called. So we'll get them. But we got to talk. We got to put this together. Time is running out. But we expect each and every one of you will be with you.
Thank you all. And
Okay.
see you all tomorrow.
Okay.